Today we're going to mod the SNES Classic to look something like this with various systems that you can select from and play. So it has some folders, each labeled with an icon. Here are the original SNES games. If I go here, it shows the original 30 SNES games that came with the SNES Classic, and if I go to more SNES games, I have some more games in here, sorted by letter. And we should have a home button here, but I didn't go further into the menu. Like if I go into here, there should be a home button that allows us to return home. And I'm using the Wii Classic, well, a bootleg version of the pad. Some of the SNES Classics don't have compatibility with this pad, and I'm not sure if it's compatible until after you install RetroArch, but I know the NES Classic doesn't work with it, so it has to be the original one that says Wii Classic in the middle. So I have PlayStation, Sega CD, some translated games, some TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx CD, more SNES games, some arcade games, Atari, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, Sega, NES, N64, and that's pretty much all I have. So I'm going to take it to the computer. I'm going to show you how to mod your SNES Classic this way. Before I do that though, here's the SNES Mini, and I have the Super Storage mod installed inside the SNES Mini. So here we have the Super Storage mod. So this is a micro SD card, and following the ribbon, the other piece is soldered underneath the motherboard. So let's get started on the computer. We're going to go ahead and get started modding the SNES Classic. You're going to need a couple of files. These files will be provided in the description. However, these are not my file links that I made personally. These are from other sources, which I will list in the description. So you're going to need Hakchi 2, the Community Edition 1.2.5. I believe they came out with 3.3, but this one's perfectly fine. And you're going to extract that, and you're going to extract the other zip files too. So we have our original unmodded or unmodified folder of Hakchi. In this other zip file, we have some other files we need to copy, and they are the dump folder, the config. I don't think we really need to copy this one, but folder images for sure, and the user mods can also be copied, but we'll leave them. So really just the folder images. And the dump folder. And then I'm going to go ahead and load Hakchi.exe, the executable file. And here's a note telling us that they have updated some issues. So we can go ahead and update. I guess we'll go ahead and give this new version a try while we're at it. Okay, so we're ready to hit OK, and we have an updated version of Hakchi. And yeah, allow access, whatever. Alright, so we have the Hakchi new version, and this is what we'll be working with, but first we have to select SNES Classic. And we are using the Super NES USA. So here are the original games that we have that are already on the SNES Classic. So the first thing you're going to do is go to kernel, install, and repair. It's going to say, do you want to flash the custom kernel? You're going to hit yes, and it's going to tell you to put your SNES into FEL mode, or developer mode. So basically you're just going to plug in your SNES Classic into the computer via the USB cable. You're going to press and hold the reset button and then turn on the power until you hear your computer, the computer's USB sound telling you that it's connected, and then this will go away and it'll go ahead and load the bar. So to do this mod, I'm going to use an SNES so I can show you with the camera on how to do that step. So you're going to take your SNES USB cord and take this cable and plug it to your SNES. You're going to go back to see if the camera can see the computer screen. But you go to kernel, install, repair. Go ahead and hit yes. Okay, so you hold the reset button and then you turn the power on, and then your screen on the computer will load. I'm not going to do it on this SNES because it's already modded. I do have another one, but I don't have the Super Storage mod installed on that one yet. So we're going to go back to computer. So once you have done the original install, it should have flashed the custom kernel, and it should let you know that you're able to upload SNES games now, or add games to your SNES. Next thing we need to do is change some of the settings. So you go to settings, and we need to go to, actually we need to go here where it says structure, and we're going to change this to custom. Then we're going to go to structure again, and we're going to put under maximum games per page folder 45, and that will give us some organization in our system when we add games. So now that we can add games, we also need to tell the SNES Classic to boot from the micro SD card. Or if you're using the USB host method with a USB drive and an adapter, I believe you do this step too. So you go to kernel, you go to flash U-boot, and then you choose SD mode, and then it'll ask you if you really want to hit yes, follow the on-screen instructions, and then it'll say complete. And now when you have a properly set up micro SD card or USB, it should load everything from there.